What's going on, everyone? Chargers Now is presented by Prize Picks. I am your host, Will Ortner. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about the big change that the former Miami Dolphins head coach, now our offensive coordinator, Mike McDaniel, has made for the Los Angeles Chargers. Because it was very clear last year what the big bugaboo was for this team in LA. Now, don't get me wrong. Justin Herbert and the rest of the offense, they were able to get things going enough to make the postseason. But I don't think it takes a football expert to watch the Chargers and say, hey, your quarterback's getting hit way too much this season. And it was clear the Chargers had to make different decisions to help build that crew back up, whether it was the offensive line, the wide receivers, the running backs, the offensive scheme, and you have to build confidence back up in Justin Herbert because he has to be able to realize that he can trust himself to sit in the pocket. And I think after hearing a lot of these OTA takeaways, a lot of the early things that are happening for Los Angeles, that Justin Herbert is not going to get hit nearly as much this year for a multitude of different reasons. Some that are in his control, but most that are from the fixer, a.k.a. Mike McDaniel. If you think Justin Herbert has an MVP season coming up, go down below in the comment section and smash that thumbs up button. You're going to see it. It looks just like this. You're going to hit that button because you love Justin Herbert and you agree with me. You think that the MVP could be coming for our guy. So McDaniel was brought in the offseason to change the offense. We all know that last year the offense under Roman was very predictable. Teams knew what they were going to be going against. They knew when you prepare for the Los Angeles Chargers, this formation is going to be predominantly run, this formation is going to be predominantly pass, and you didn't really have to prepare for all that much going forward. Now, we look at this Chargers offense, and it is going to be completely different. Now, McDaniel is not going to be able to take sole credit for this because general manager Joe Ortiz, he had to go and get some players that were going to help this offense move forward, right? Because as good of a coach as McDaniel is, the offense would not improve if the offensive line was the exact same from last year. So when we look at the depth chart for the Los Angeles Chargers, it is clear that this crew has taken a step forward just by Slater and Alt probably being healthy for a good chunk of this season, if not all of it. This will be a better unit. But I love the addition of Tyler Biadasz. A lot of praise has been coming out about him from Chargers camp. We'll get into more of that, of course, as the offseason goes on. Cole Strange, Jake Slaughter, although Slaughter has been bouncing around in a couple different spots. You've seen a lot of the other interior offensive linemen. They are really showing that they are able to grow and that they are improving that interior of the offensive line. So that's a good thing, right? And McDaniel can't take credit for that necessarily. That's more general manager Joe Ortiz, and that's also just the players of being able to be out on the field and show that they are taking steps forward and they are able to improve themselves. But what McDaniel is going to be able to do, and what he has already started doing in Los Angeles, is help make that group's life easier and help make quarterback Justin Herbert's life easier. We were able to hear from Justin Herbert at OTAs this week, and he talked about something that I didn't really think about. He was talking not about how to get the ball out quickly because he knew what the offense was going to be, not because he had to have a focus on where his arm strength needed to be. It was on his footwork and how he could get better as a quarterback without throwing the football. Here's what Justin Herbert had to say. We really emphasized the first couple of weeks of just getting the ball out as quick as possible, almost getting to a point where the receivers haven't looked back for it yet. And that just allows them to catch the ball with the maximum amount of ability to turn upfield and have time before a defender gets to them. You can't get sacked if you get the ball out quickly is clearly a philosophy that Mike McDaniel agrees with and clearly believes in. And so he's having Justin Herbert focus not on throwing the football because he's taken some sessions off of throwing the football this week, but on getting his footwork correct so that he could best use his abilities. We got more to talk about on today's program, but I got to let you know first that today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports picks app. It's the best place to win cash while watching sports. With playoff basketball here, there's no better time to cash in with our friends at Prize Picks. And I'll tell you this, the app, really easy to use. To qualify for a Prize Picks lineup, pick 2 to 6 players and select more or less on stat projections, including points, rebounds, assists, three-pointers, and several others across all sports. One thing I love is the new social feeds feature, where you can share Prize Picks with your friends and copy lineups with a single click. You can actually follow me on the app, at BigWill7774, to see all of my lineups. I have a lineup for the football action going on later on this year. Justin Herbert, more on his pass yards. Quentin Johnston, more on his receiving TDs. Rashid Shaheed, more on his receiving yards. New user offer. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive $50 in lineups. That's code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to get an extra $50 in lineups with Prize Picks. Clickable link to download the app is in the comments and description. So when we look at Justin Herbert's career, especially this last season, we can see that he has been a pretty darn good quarterback, even in the Roman system, where it wasn't really asking him to get the ball out quickly. It was asking him to make the correct play. And sometimes, and a lot of young quarterbacks have this issue, a lot of supremely talented quarterbacks have this issue. Justin Herbert, you can make the argument, kind of has this issue as well, is that Herbert relies a little bit too much on his arm strength. And he says, hey, I can wait until a guy is for sure open because I have the ability and the pop to get that ball out quickly and right on my target, and they're going to be able to make a catch. But that can lead to Herbert getting hit more. It can lead to the offensive line having to block for longer. It can lead to inefficiencies in his game. I thought that ESPN's Chris Rim did a fantastic job of illustrating this in his article this week, where he talked about the efficiency of Justin Herbert and why getting the ball out quickly is going to be a big deal for him. According to ESPN research, Herbert threw 6 touchdowns to 3 interceptions last season on throws released within 2.4 seconds. That's getting rid of the ball pretty quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Once plays extended into the intermediate timing window between roughly 2.4 and 3.5 seconds, his efficiency dipped. I'd be fascinated to know what the difference between 3.0 and 3.5 was for Justin Herbert, because in my opinion, I bet you the deeper that you go on that time, the less efficient that he is. And don't get me wrong, there are times where you need to hold on to the football longer. As a quarterback, there are times where you need to make sure that a play is made and not just hit the check down. But I think too often in today's NFL, today's football in general, we try to punish guys for being a check down Charlie. But a lot of the talent, and I'm talking about running backs, tight ends, wide receivers, skill players in general, the ability for a lot of these guys to get the ball in their hands with space and allow them to make a play, it's just second to none. A lot of times quarterbacks can just get the football out quickly. And that's what McDaniel is trying to emphasize with Justin Herbert. Are you excited for the new look Chargers offense in the 2026 NFL season? Let me know down below in the comment section, yes or no. I personally cannot wait to see what this Chargers offense looks like. In my opinion, you are going to see the best version of Justin Herbert, and you're going to see the healthiest version of Justin Herbert. He is someone that has kind of had to do it all himself, and I think by McDaniel's game plan and scheme, this is going to lead to better things for Herbert. I mean, shoot, McDaniel's had him earlier this week just doing footwork drills. He was doing the Dak Prescott, right, where he's moving his hips like this all the time, like he's trying to dance the salsa or something. But that was what Justin Herbert needed. He needed to get his footwork correct so that he could use his arm strength the correct way. And it also will lead to more trust with his wide receivers. What you're going to see from this offense is less sacks in the 2026 season because the ball's out quickly. How often do you see a quarterback get hit or sacked in 2.4 seconds or less? It just doesn't happen. Tua is half the quarterback that Justin Herbert was and is, and Mike McDaniel led him to the postseason multiple times. You're going to see more completed passes for Justin Herbert because he's going to be taking what the defense gives him. He's going to see an open receiver and get the ball out quickly. At the end of the day, that is going to be great for McConkey, Johnston, and everyone else. It's also going to lead to easier run lanes because you are going to see a Chargers team that every time they come out in a formation, it's hard to figure out what they are. So So teams aren't going to be able to blitz as easy, and it's going to allow for Amari and Hampton and Mitchell and the rest of that running back room to have more room to operate. And if they have more room to operate and run their plays and run the football down team's throat, it makes life easier for Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert had this to say on Mike McDaniel's offense, and I think it's the perfect way to end today's program. I think he's just got a great feel for the game, and I think he understands how defenses are ever changing, and it's his goal to be able to take away the pass rush. If you're getting the ball out quickly, there's really nothing they can do about it. I couldn't agree more, man. If the ball is out of your hands before the defender has a chance to get to you, it doesn't matter. And I think at the end of the day, Justin Herbert getting sacked, it's an issue that's going to be largely fixed by Mike McDaniel and everything that the Chargers have done this offseason. Who will benefit the most from Mike McDaniel's offense? Let me know down below in the comment section. I think it might be Justin Herbert, but I would be willing to listen to David Njoku. I'd be listening to Mitchell. I might even be listening to this offensive line. So let me know what your opinion is down below in that comment section. Hit the thumbs up button if you're excited that the Chargers fixed the Justin Herbert sack issue. I feel pretty darn comfortable saying that right now. Subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't had an opportunity to do so. We've got you covered on the Los Angeles Chargers all 2026 long.